You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Welcome back. It is Friday, February 13th, 2026. And yes, I am very aware of the date.
Friday the 13th. Ominous.
A little bit ominous, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to try to steer clear of any superstitions, but I make no promises with what we're talking about today.
To be fair, when we get to the segment on car door handles that literally trap you inside a burning vehicle, the date might feel a little too on the nose.
That is a very fair point. We do have some properly scary design stories in the stack, but look, despite the calendar, the energy today is strictly Product Thursdays.
Right.
We're putting our design hats on because, good design doesn't care if it's Friday the 13th. It just has to work.
Exactly. Design is that invisible layer. It's the interface between all this shiny new tech, the AI, the chips, and the, messy reality of being a human.
And looking at what happened this week, that interface is getting complicated.
Complicated is one word for it.
It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. We have a massive amount to get through. We're going to cover everything from these naming wars between tech giants to, and I'm not kidding, the absolute pinnacle of innovation, a sheep that holds paper clips.
Which is genuinely my favorite thing we're discussing today. I'm so excited for the sheep.
It's pretty great. But, before we get to the livestock, we have to talk about the tools. We've been tracking this AI integration wave, but something shifted this week. It feels like we've crossed a threshold from AI as a helper to AI as the engine.
That is the perfect way to frame it. For so long, it was a brainstorming buddy. You'd ask a chatbot for an idea, you'd copy-paste. The news about Webflow and Claude this week, that changes the whole dynamic.
Okay, let's drill into this, because I use both of those, but always in separate windows. This is the new official integration.
Correct. And this is not just a chatbot floating on the interface, Clippy style. This is an API-level connector. You can now prompt Claude to actually structure a site.
What does that mean, structure a site?
It can manage your CMS. It can do bulk updates across thousands of pages. You can even run an SEO audit right there in Webflow.
So, wait, just to clarify, previously, if I wanted to retag 500 blog posts, that was a manual job or a complex script. Now I just tell the agent, fix the tags, and it does it.
Exactly. It has write access. It moves from suggestion to execution. It's what we're calling an agentic workflow.
No, it's a huge leap in efficiency.
Yeah.
It's also a huge leap in trust. Giving an AI write access to your production database is bold.
It is bold, but it shows where this is all going. We're moving away from chatting with bots and toward managing agents. And it's not just Webflow. Look at Canva and ChatGPT.
Right, this one felt more geared towards marketing teams.
It is, but the mechanism is the same. Canva now has ChatGPT integrated to respect your brand kit.
Ah.
So instead of just saying make a poster, the AI automatically pulls your specific hex codes, your logos, your fonts, and it creates something that looks like you made it.
That solves the biggest problem with generative design so far, which is that it usually looks generic. Or worse, it hallucinates a font you don't even own.
Precisely. It makes the output usable right away. But here's the friction point. All these tools, Webflow, Canva, Google, they all want to own the flow of work. And when they all collide, you eventually run out of space. Literally.
You mean they're running out of names?
We have reached semantic saturation. This week, Autodesk filed a lawsuit against Google.
Autodesk, like the AutoCAD people?
The very same. So Google launched an AI video generator. They wanted a name that sounded fluid, seamless. They called it Flow.
Which is a great name. Short, punchy.
It is. The problem is Autodesk already has a product line called Flow. They're a cloud platform for media, which launched back in 2022.
Oh, and I'm guessing in trademark law, but Google isn't a valid defense?
Autodesk certainly doesn't think so. They claim they asked Google to stop. Google allegedly ignored them and filed trademarks anyway. And now customers are getting confused online.
It's fascinating because flow is such a generic, desirable word, but it signals something bigger. We're just running out of the English language to describe these tools.
And that raises the most important question for the humans caught in the middle of all this.
Right. If Claude is building the website and Canva is handling the branding, what's left for the designer to do? Are we just supervising robots?
There's a really compelling argument emerging about this. It's being called the 80% job.
Walk me through that, the 80% job.
The idea is that senior-level design work hasn't really been about crafting pixels for a long time. It's become less about the art and more about mediation, justification, alignment.
Yeah.
Sitting in meetings.
So the 80% is the bureaucracy, the emails, the JIRA tickets, the presentations.
Basically. And the argument is, let the AI take that. The real opportunity isn't asking AI to generate mock-ups. It's asking it to automate the meeting synthesis, the research summaries.
The vibe-coded prototypes I've been seeing?
Exactly. Just whip up something quick and dirty to show a stakeholder what you mean. If AI handles that drudgery, humans can get back to what they're best at. Strategic judgment.
Which brings us to the return of the intuitive designer. I really like this framing because it pushes back against all the doom and gloom.
It's a great counter-narrative. The theory is, as AI lowers the barrier for average work, anyone can make a decent-looking website now, human intuition becomes the premium skill.
So taste matters again.
Taste, judgment, understanding complex systems. It's that knowledge you build up over years. An AI can follow the rules, but a human knows when to break them to make something feel right.
But to do that, you still have to know how to talk to the machine.
Correct. And that's where AI literacy comes in. Researchers are starting to break it down into two skills. There's prompt fluency. Can you get the AI to do what you want? And then there's output literacy.
Output literacy. So knowing if the AI is just lying to you.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
It's being able to evaluate the quality of what comes out. Is the code secure? Is the design actually accessible? Is it using a dark pattern?
I see. So you get these different user types emerging.
Right. You have the naive power users, great at prompting, but low output literacy. They can't tell the work is bad. They're dangerous because they just flood the world with garbage.
And then the skeptical abstainers.
The people who have high taste, they know what good looks like, but they refuse to touch the tools. They're missing out on all the efficiency.
So the goal is to be that intuitive expert in the middle. You can prompt the machine, but you have the wisdom to look at the output and say, nope, that's wrong, try again.
Exactly. You become the editor-in-chief of the AI.
Speaking of being an editor-in-chief, let's pivot to a company that's built its entire identity on impeccable taste. Apple is turning 50.
The big 5-0. April 1st, 2026.
Tim Cook promised some celebration, which is the most Apple phrase ever. It could mean anything. It could mean we all get another U2 album.
Please, no. But the rumor mill is spinning, and most people are expecting significant hardware.
And we have some leaks on that front, specifically displays.
We do. The Studio Display 2 seems likely for the first half of the year.
Finally. The first one was fine, but it was missing pro features like high refresh rates.
This update sounds huge. We're hearing 90 hertz or maybe even 120 hertz mini LED, and this is the kicker, an A19 chip inside the monitor itself.
Wait, an A19, a flagship mobile chip in a monitor? Why?
That's the question. It suggests they want the display to handle a ton of on-device processing. Spatial audio, advanced camera tracking, maybe even local Siri processing.
That makes sense. It offloads the work from the Mac it's connected to.
Exactly. Turns the monitor into its own smart hub.
And then there's the iPhone 18 Pro Max. I know we just got the 17, but the leaks never stop.
This one is all about stamina. The leak points to a massive battery, maybe up to 5,200 milliamp. Paired with a more efficient A20 chip, they seem to be aiming for a true multi-day battery life.
Okay, that sounds amazing, but I have to bring up a reality check. Because the hardware sounds great, but the AI software side is hitting some bumps, we have to talk about the Apple Creator Studio.
The usage limits. This story really blew up.
It did. A developer, Steve Troughton-Smith, did the math. Apple advertised 50 presentations per month, which sounds like plenty.
Right. Most people don't make 50 slide decks a month.
But when he made one single AI-generated keynote presentation, it used up 47% of his monthly limit.
Wow.
One presentation. So you can realistically make 2 a month.
That just highlights the inference cost problem. We think of AI as magic, but generating those images is incredibly expensive in terms of server power.
It feels like they botched the communication. It's like buying a Ferrari and being told you can only drive it to the end of your driveway twice a month.
Perfect analogy. It's a reminder that even for Apple, the economics of generative AI are brutal.
Before we get too negative, though, there was a nice little historical nod found this week. Did you see the Easter egg?
The paper emoji. I love this.
Yes. If you zoom way in on the paper emoji, the text isn't just squiggles. It's the text from the Think Different campaign from 1997.
Here's to the crazy ones. It's such a nice, subtle detail. It shows someone there still cares about the history, about the lore of the company.
It is a nice touch. But let's move from Think Different to Think Safety, because there's a darker side to design we have to address.
Absolutely. Bad design isn't just ugly. It can be dangerous. And we have two perfect examples this week, one digital, one physical.
Let's start with the digital. The EU is going after TikTok again.
This is significant. The European Commission is arguing that TikTok's core design, the infinite scroll, the autoplay violates their Digital Services Act.
They're calling it addictive design, right?
Correct. The argument is that TikTok failed to assess the harm these features cause, especially to minors. The whole rabbit hole effect that keeps kids scrolling until 3 a.m.
And the fine is potentially massive.
Up to 6% of global revenue. That's billions. It's a clear signal that regulators are no longer accepting engagement as an excuse for manipulative design.
It's a wild contrast. Apple is limiting how much you can use their AI, and TikTok has designed a system to make sure you never stop.
That's the engagement trap. But if that's the digital danger, the physical danger story you found is even more terrifying.
This is the story about China banning flush door handles on cars.
Oh, this is a perfect example of form over function going tragically wrong. You know those sleek handles that sit flush with the car body?
Yeah, they look very futuristic. Tesla has them, a lot of EVs do. It's for aerodynamics, right?
Mostly, yeah. Less drag, more range. It's a metric-driven choice.
But what happens if the power dies in an accident?
That's the problem. There have been incidents in China fires, submersions, where the electrical system fails, the handles don't pop out, and rescuers can't get the doors open.
That is an actual nightmare scenario, trapped in a car because the door handle was too sleek.
Exactly. So China is banning them unless there's an obvious mechanical override.
It really puts things in perspective. Whether it's an app that keeps you scrolling or a door handle that locks you in a fire, the core failure is the same.
It is. It's prioritizing a metric engagement time or drag coefficient over human well-being. It's the cardinal sin of modern design.
Heavy stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's try to lighten the mood a little bit. If good, sleek design can be dangerous, maybe chaotic design is the answer.
There's a theory about this. Design is dead. It's all evolution now.
Explain that.
Look at Instagram. If you designed it from scratch today, you would not build the app we have now. It's a complete mess.
It is a mess. It's photos, then it's videos, then it's a shopping mall, then a messaging app.
Right. It's not intelligent design. It's evolution. You just throw features at the wall, reels, stories, whatever, and what sticks stays. The app is just a collection of successful mutations.
Like an organism that just keeps growing extra limbs because they help it survive.
Precisely. The argument is that we should stop trying to be these perfect architects and just accept that products evolve through chaos.
Which brings us to my favorite thing of the week, the Museum of Failure.
Yes, it just opened in the UK, and it's a monument to all the mutations that didn't survive.
They have some incredible flops. I saw the Tetra Pak Rigello bottle.
A total mess. But my favorite is the Sun Chips compostable bag from a few years ago. Do you remember this?
Vaguely. Wasn't it? Loud.
Loud is an understatement. When you crumpled it, it was measured at over 95 decibels.
95 decibels? That's like a subway train.
It was loud enough to actually cause hearing damage. People hated it. Sales plummeted.
An eco-friendly bag that deafens you. Brilliant. But there is a lesson there.
There is. The museum's founder talks about psychological safety. If you're terrified of making a noisy chip bag, you'll never invent the next great thing. Failure is the tuition you pay for innovation.
I love that. Failure is tuition. Just maybe test the decibel level next time.
Ideally.
Okay, so if we're not doing noisy bags, what are the aesthetics of success right now?
Visually, we are seeing a big shift toward what's called linear design.
What does that look like?
Think of it as a reaction against all those bento box grids. Linear design is monochrome. Single sans serif fonts, subtle animations. It's minimalism's practical cousin. We're moving away from brutalism and toward something that just works. It's very clean.
But then you have someone like Jony Ive who is still doing his own thing, with Ferrari of all things.
He is. His firm Love From designed the interior of the Ferrari Luce. And it is fascinating because it might be a glimpse of the Apple car that never was.
I assume it's not just a giant screen.
No, it's surprisingly analog, full of his signatures, squircles, anodized aluminum. But the coolest detail is the key.
What's special about the key?
It's an e-ink key.
E-ink, like on a Kindle.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's passive. And the idea is that when you put it in the console, it symbolizes transferring life to the car. It wakes it up. It's so poetic.
Transferring life. Only Jony Ive could get away with that. It's so ceremonial.
Exactly. It focuses on the feeling of the interaction, not just the function.
But he's not the only one doing cute functional design. We promised the listener a sheep. We have to deliver the sheep.
We did.
Mhm.
And honestly, this is the best piece of design we've talked about all day. The perfect palette cleanser.
Tell them about the sheep.
Okay, so a designer created this little desktop organizer. It's a magnetic sheet body made of smooth plastic,
Okay.
and you just toss your paper clips at it. They stick to the magnet and form the wool of the sheep.
That is adorable.
It's brilliant. It takes a mess loose paper clips and turns it into the aesthetic. The more messy clips you have, the fluffier the sheep gets.
That is peak design. It solves a problem, it brings joy, and it doesn't need a subscription or an A19 chip.
It's the best of us.
What a journey today. We went from AI agents rewriting websites to lawsuits over the word flow to door handles that might kill you.
Sure.
And we ended with a magnetic sheep.
That's the landscape of 2026. High tech, high stakes, and hopefully a little bit of whimsy.
Before we go, though, I want to leave everyone with one final thought. We talked about TikTok and accessibility laws earlier.
Right. There's this concept called performative accessibility that I really want people to watch out for.
What do you mean by that?
As companies rush to use AI to fix their code to meet these European deadlines, we risk doing the equivalent of cookie banners.
Where you just click accept to make the pop-up go away, but nothing really changes.
Exactly. We'll end up with AI-generated alt text that just says image of a person, which is technically compliant but totally useless to a blind user, or code that passes a checklist but is still a nightmare to navigate.
That's a crucial distinction. It's compliance without care.
And that's a dangerous trap. We need to use these incredible tools to actually solve the problem, not just tick the box so we don't get sued.
A powerful place to leave it. Don't just tick the box. Actually do the work.
Couldn't said it better myself. All right, that is a wrap for this vocal technologist session. Embrace the chaos, maybe buy a magnetic sheep for your desk, and please watch out for those flush door handles.
Stay safe out there.
Catch you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.